You know what the hardest thing to write about is? And I don't mean the contents of the male lead in 50 Shades of Grey's trousers. That's actually rather easy to write with the bar set as low as it is. There's a good reason that the market is flooded with derivatives. Just write it from the woman's perspective, and housewives and teenage girls across the land will not be able to give you their money fast enough. Take this example. Though I could not touch him, I knew he was close. I could picture him over me in the total darkness of the blindfold. Then I felt it. His hands on my skin sent electric pulsing through me. I was alive with desire. I wanted to feel him more. I wanted nothing more than for him to give me everything, but he kept teasing me. I moaned at him through the gag, wrestled with my bonds, and then suddenly I was alive with pain. I felt his cigarette on my shoulder as a white-hot pinprick. It sent a fresh new wave of sensation through me. I half moaned, half screamed through my gag, and he finally relented. I heard the soft tap of his cigarette falling to the floor as I felt his body on mine. I moaned with a combination of pleasure and relief as he finally answered my calls. The flames of passion reared within me. I smelled the smoke of passion, at first subtle, then choking me. I suddenly realised his cigarette had set fire to the rug. Anyway, this introduction is rather overlong because the hardest thing to write about is a general feeling of disinterest, and that's where I stand on this one. On paper, Final Fantasy V should be a good one. Simple plot with some novel twists to keep things interesting, some nice settings including a boat graveyard and a whole alternative world, some of the best music the series has seen, and yet I'm not filled with rug smoke just yet. FF5 was released in 1992, a good year for me as I was currently some atoms that were being utilised by a can of cream of tomato soup and thus an obvious target market. When I finally got round to playing this one, it was an illegal emulated copy. Bad Rob! Before I finally bought the PS Store version, which I never finished because I have trouble finishing. I have to say, you can probably consider this one an overall positive if you're the kind of psychotic who has to have a clear-cut ending to everything, since I do actually own the game and whatnot, and it is one that I'm considering finishing once I muster up the courage, but I think I might have finally managed to pin down what it was that just wasn't quite doing it for me on this one, and it's that the main character's just kind of an idiot. I get that he's supposed to be lovably dim and earnest, but I think you could probably tell from the facial structure and voice of someone who you spend large amounts of time in close proximity to that they were a woman, so forgive me if I don't feel too invested in that particular reveal, since it seemed to be obvious to the player alone, unless I'm some sort of clairvoyant. In retrospect, probably the easiest way to prove that Faris was a woman would just be to search her name on DeviantArt. That usually yields interesting results.